I do keep pace on various things like that.
Right. So
That's
you're
usually
knowledgeable
my
about just the game as a whole, the the position of tank supports DPS, the meta, all that kind of stuff. And yet, at the time in the form, you were plat one. Is that where you still are right now, or has that changed?
Oh man, roughly mid-season, right before 6v6 came out, I went just an ungodly unlucky streak, and I went from plat one, and I even pushed diamond a little bit right
Uh
after
huh.
I scheduled the coaching,
Uh huh.
and then I just tanked down to like diamond or not diamond. Whew, I wish. Plat 4, plat
Uh huh.
5, and
Uh
I
huh.
pushed back to mid plat 4 this morning because I had been playing quite a bit of 6v6 and I was enjoying it for a while, but I think I've come to, realize that as much as I love 6v6 and I do prefer it, the open queue format, since I'm a one trick, makes it much harder for me and makes it enjoy it less.
Well,
At
I'm
least
gonna
in
be.
my elo.
This might be a hot take as well, but I think engage tank is pretty much always tough, right?
Yeah,
Like it
yeah,
doesn't matter.
absolutely.
Even with the
Absolutely.
perfect off tank like the Zarya, the Diva, and the high round maps, or Rhine Sigma and Sniper, it's still hard. Like there's still so much attention on you, right? So,
It really
um,
is.
yeah, I mean, I played a bit of 6v6 and I enjoyed it, but Ryan Winston are still Ryan Winston, so you're still gonna get you're
Yeah,
still the main character.
it's hard.
So you have a lot of knowledge. Friends have climbed faster than you. You're kind of stuck mid plat. Reinhardt one trick. Feel like you know a lot about the game. So where are you at in terms of goals right now? The form you said you want to have more challenging games, which feels like translation equals I feel like I'm playing with I'm sucking. I feel like the people I play with suck. I want to be around people that actually feel like they understand the game as well as I feel like on paper I do. Maybe I'm reading too much into that.
No, that's more or less it. Like, oh man, one of the first because I got my War Man on quick play, and it went
Yeah.
pretty well.
Yeah.
First load into comp this morning, instantly get Dorado, and
Yeah.
then I have a Bastion on low ground standing on the corner with me,
Yeah.
and died first death, first three fights, and then he left. Just like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Those
Even though
games are
even
going to
though they
happen.
were in voice,
Yeah.
and it's like we need to hold the high ground, or I'm going to get melted, and they're low ground. So
Right.
yeah, no.
Right. Makes sense.
That
Okay.
happens at like GM and top 500. It's just less common.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you otherwise. Like, I think the quality of the games definitely improves the higher you go up. I think it's still like there's still trashy games all the way up, but like
Oh, absolutely.
there's the quality of games does go up by a little bit at least as you climb the ranks. So makes sense. I want to prove to myself that I, in fact, can one trick grind to a higher elo and be able to coach myself better. And you mentioned this earlier, like you have this hard time valuing yourself because you bring your own bias into it. You're not really sure what you're really looking for.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I try. It's just it's hard.
yeah, okay. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? And this is the sucker. I'm not truly sure. I feel like it could be I am too passive when I should be more aggressive, costing my team or space, costing my team space or costing my team the fight.
Yeah, it's not like I said. I'm not sure what it really is. Sometimes it feels like I'm just too passive, and I engage or I should engage, and I
Yep.
don't. And sometimes, lately, the past couple weeks, it's just like maybe it's my engagement timing is just slightly wrong, or I have noticed the past few weeks that there are times that I'm, waffling between committing and not committing, and I've been
Yep.
working on it
Okay. Okay.
for a little while there, is for a few weeks, month or whatever before I, submitted for the coaching.
Yep.
I did notice that my fire strikes were just blind and sloppy, and I've been working on it little by little, and I
Yep.
feel like it's gotten better.
Sure. Sure.
Um,
Sure. Okay. Okay. About every other game, I would say I get bored and decide I'm going to send it at the enemy, and it kind of cuts off there.
oh, I don't know. My friends like to say I'm bored moments.
Uh huh.
So it's just like, oh, well, I've been standing here playing Shield Bot Rhine for, a hot minute. I want to do something, and then I just send it, and
Sure.
I'm usually just like, okay, I'm bored. I'm gonna go in 3, 2, 1, and I just pan it off at an angle at somewhere. And
Sure.
sometimes we wipe them, and more often than not, I just blow up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna keep you mentally challenged here. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that I'm going to test your knowledge to see how good it
Absolutely.
truly is, and I think we're going to find some points of ignorance, certainly in the execution of that information, if not necessarily in the understanding. And we're gonna figure some things out. We're gonna give you some straight up goals, some things to work at, some strengths, some weaknesses. Um, the hardest aspect of this entire session is going to be the fact that you are hard stuck. Hard stuck players are the worst because you have ingrained habits, and there is going to be, especially as a one trick, because it's going to take a lot of conscious effort to correct those habits. So we're going to train good habits, but we're going to have to train bad habits away. And the worst aspect of that is that you're not going to have likely immediate positive reinforcement. So
Oh yeah,
I'm
no,
going to give you some,
absolutely.
you're going to have to be very patient, very deliberate, and you're going to have to start small. Whether that's being more deliberate about your fire sticks, probably a lot to do with your positioning and your understanding of the role as a whole.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to challenge yourself to be as deliberately constructive with how you're playing as you possibly can, and also be okay with making mistakes and keep applying yourself over and over and over again. If you do want to climb in rank, that's going to be what's demanded of you. But we've got a lot of baggage to not unpack, but to burn. You get what I'm saying? So like if you've been playing one tricking Ryan for this long, there's going to be a lot of ugly things that we're going to have to address. There's going to be some good
Yeah.
things because you're not bronze, silver, or gold. But there's going to be a lot of some ugly things that we're going to have to address.
I know because I've been one tricking Ryan, or basically one tricking Ryan, since well before roll lock
Yep.
in Overwatch 1.
Yes.
So like I know I've got bad habits, but like aside from, I'm doing better about it, but I used to spy check way too much, check for flank. I've been trying to find my flaws, but it's hard to figure them out.
It is. It is. You're
Like
not
I've
alone
got
in
bad
that.
habits, but what are the bad habits?
You're not alone in that. That can be a very challenging thing to address. Absolutely. So we'll take a careful look at that. Okay. Any questions maybe about strategy, big picture, small picture, Ryan, training time, training schedule? We didn't really talk about your training schedule much at all. Are you confident with how often that you play, how consistent you play, and so on?
For the most part, because because of my life schedule and everything, I've got a fairly consistent, odds and ends difference, but I usually, get on about 8 in the morning and I play and stream till about 10, sometimes 11.
Okay.
But I play 2 or 3 hours. I mean,
Okay. Let's take a look
in
then.
the afternoons or nights, I'll play DPS or support, but
That's fine. That's just fun time, but you've got a little
yeah.
bit of training time every day. Okay. Okay. Do you feel like when you train, you're able to give what you're doing your full attention?
Yeah, that's part of the
Okay.
reason I do it then. It's because for the most part, it's usually Monday through Friday. My kids are at school.
Uh,
I'm not headed to work. I've had my breakfast normally.
Streaming's not a distraction.
What's that?
Streaming's not a distraction.
Not really, because I'm a zero streamer Andy right now.
Hey, drop. Is it on Twitch?
Yeah, I'm on Twitch right now.
Drop the link, my friend. I gotta promo it.
Yeah.
Give you a follow and see if I'll drop your link in the description of your video once it's posted as well. Always love me some Reinhardt. Get everything.
Let's see. That's OBS. That is not, in fact.
Yes, I
Yeah,
looked
I
at your
actually.
Discord profile and I just saw like Xbox stuff. Okay, there we go. Mouse 13.
Well, I just got because I've been streaming straight from my Xbox for months and months.
Ah, I see.
It wasn't till last week I just got my PC together.
Got it.
So
Congrats, mate. Congrats,
I
mate.
will be switching to PC, but because I'm not gonna like I know how, but I gotta relearn the muscle memory of actually
Yeah.
mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
So
That
I'm
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. Now we're gonna go ahead and say that that's gonna be part of your struggles as well as like the muscle memory of things as well. But any mechanical shakiness will be shaken off with time. So
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna keep this pulled up so I make sure that I post this here when we send this to you. Okay, sick, mate. All right, let's take a look here. So I assume post wipe you didn't have a ton of codes, so that would probably played a hand in why this code is being selected. But was there any other specific reasons why you chose this code here? By the way, love the skin. I just got the Mythic Iridescent yesterday as well. I'm looking forward
Oh
to using
yeah.
it. Looks
Yep.
sick. But yeah, go ahead.
I've
Why
bought
this
the
code?
battle pass. I've bought. Okay, I gotta do. I bought the battle pass 3 times with the credits, and I was
Oh, that's
10
smart.
credits short of getting the iridescent
Oh
skin. So it's like,
no.
yep, I guess I'm buying the battle pass. But I saved my coins, so it's not like I'm using real money.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
absolutely. But I ended up picking this code because aside from the 6v6 games where, I was relearning 6v6 or, I was just struggling, etc. Most of my games I've been locking in better, and it's
Mm-hmm.
either I'm full fucking rolling them
Mm-hmm.
and just dominating the lobby, or I've got, DPS that are going like 6 and 15
Yeah.
when we don't have a mercy.
So I assume this one was like
Uh,
relatively competitive then.
right. Well, I mean, I win that one. It was a close win. That was actually from earlier today. I win that one, but we get all the way to third point. It was a struggle, an
Yeah.
absolute struggle, and I don't know why it was a struggle.
This one right here. This one you win. It was a
Yeah.
struggle. You want to know why. Got it. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
win or loss, I don't really care as long as it's competitive and there's some good questions, and I'm sure we'll see little microcosms of some of the reasons why you struggle elsewhere. So, what is
Right.
Reinhardt good at? What is Reinhardt good at in comparison to other tanks?
Uh, Holding close angle spaces,
Okay.
short angle corners. If they try to walk around the corner,
Can you
I
simplify
hit
that
them with
answer for
hammer.
me? Yeah, exactly. You hit them with hammer. Okay, so
I
but
hit
there's
them
a
with hammer.
lot of other tanks that are also good in proximity. In fact, there's other tanks that are probably better in proximity. You have your Macho, you have your Orisa. What allows Reinhardt to function in comparison to those tanks? What is his unique strength compared to those tanks? This is a tough question, but it's an important question.
He can hit multiple people at once for
Sure,
one.
sure.
Because if they push, you're just cleaving the whole team. Um,
Tough, isn't it?
yeah, it's hard to put it into words. Like
It
I
is.
can feel it when I'm playing, but
Yeah, yeah. The biggest difference is your mobility versus those tanks.
yeah, mobility. That's when Pan's not a killing cooldown. That's mobility. That's how I traverse the map.
Right, right. So you got to always ask yourself, am I on the most aggressive, greedy, space-taking, attention-seeking corner anywhere on the map? And you got to ask yourself if that's the case. And if the answer is no, then you need to put yourself there. You see, the ultimate goal with Reinhardt, as you said, is to hit people with your hammer. But you got to ask yourself, is this the best position to hit people with my hammer? Can I take more space? Can I apply more pressure elsewhere? And the key thing with Pen is you got to be creative and thoughtful about how you set it up, right? Like if I'm playing Winston right now and I just jump right in the middle of the enemy team without any thought, even Winston probably gets blown up. You have to find cover. You can't just jump in the middle of the enemy team. You have to come, and the same thing goes with Reinhardt. The same thing goes with Malga. The same thing goes with any tank that has any sort of mobility. You have to be thoughtful. You got to approach things generally from wrapping around, coming from the left, coming from the right, pinning to cover, pinning to corner, and so on. So a lot of Ryan is holding that attention, threatening people with your hammer, and because of the threat of the hammer, you're able to create space. So like right now, we've pinned out, okay, we don't have a lot of healing, that's fine. We have an unbelievable amount of utility, which is really nice. They're going to hold shield on walkout, and you need to walk towards somebody to hit them with your hammer. Where would that be? Who's the closest target?
I apologize. Give me just a second. I was swinging around in practice range. All right. Brain dead. All right.
That's okay.
Hit them with hammer. If I remember right, it's probably rotate over to the point and sit just inside a point to try and not only force point but threaten the Lucio.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
And then
I'm going to be as many things that I'm asking you to talk about and learn about and explore more. I'm going to be discarding a lot of other crap as well. Like, this is just super simple, right? You already have a lot of information and a lot of knowledge. Some of that knowledge and information is honestly useless. So right now, your job is to walk towards Lucio because he's close and hit him with your hammer. That will then force attention. That will allow your team to walk out of the choke. So if you don't walk towards Lucio and swing your hammer, you're trolling. This is okay, but you should be walking forward to the forward corner. Why?
Walking to the forward corner because from where I'm at right now, I can't hit anything with the hammer.
True. Are you safe enough resource-wise to hit people with your hammer?
I mean, I've got full health. My shield's low. I think at the time I felt like my health was lower.
Yeah.
I mean,
so that's okay.
I've got enough resources.
Right. So this is a momentary mistake, but as long as it's corrected, I'm okay with it. And by the way, you could absolutely pin here. Why? First off, you have the health for it.
Yeah, I've got the health for it.
Are you pinning through the middle of the enemy team?
I mean, I kind of am pinning through the middle of the enemy team, but not at the same time.
It's not exactly, right? A little bit kind of off to the side, and not everybody can see you. Okay. So you don't have to pin, but you do need to you need to take space. And this is a lack of taking space.
Yeah.
You have the resources for it. There's cover here. You need to take space. You need to force that attention. Now, if you want to take space and walk to the corner, or to the corner, or to the corner, that's fine. Good. You want to see something funny?
Yeah, I saw her die in the game. I was like, how did that happen?
Mm-hmm. So this is a real bad job of taking space. This is a much better job of taking space. And that's actually a pretty smart pin, too. Hold shield, get your resource back, and your team wins off of that. So not good, not bad, just okay. And the bad part was you had more resource to walk forward more aggressively to the next corner, to the next person, and you didn't do so until a little too late. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Doesn't need to be more complicated than that. Toss a couple fire strikes here from the corner. Wait, where did they go? Am I crazy? What happened here? Did you see that?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Cause like,
does that in game as well?
Yeah. Oh, it hits the.
I don't think it does. I don't think it does. Look at your crosshairs. It shouldn't, because the fire strike projectile is the center of the crosshair, so it will still travel over the bridge. It just disappears. Maybe it's just a replay bug. Maybe it's a skin. It might be the skin. I don't know. That's very strange. Yeah, it did hit somebody.
Yeah,
it's replay viewer. It's replay viewer.
Okay, yeah.
It's replay viewer.
I was confused too for a moment.
I was too. Yeah,
What's going on?
Yeah, good fire strikes. Very deliberate. I can tell.
Like I said, I had been practicing that. I've let up on a little bit.
Good. That's okay. That's okay. You don't practice something in perpetuity.
Yeah.
You move on. So this is where the mistakes start, just a wee bit. I don't mind this pin of the idea of the pin. Get close, hit them with your hammer. I don't mind that you ended on a corner. I don't like where we're taking this fight. Why? One simple reason.
I'm in there, but I don't have help from my team.
That's it. That's literally it. I'm not going to turn my camera around. You should be able to predict where is your team staged to take this engagement right now.
Yeah, I remember when I hit that pin, I was like, ooh, I went a little bit deeper than I should have. You
sure did.
That's why I started backing up some. Like, I burned some shield, but...
Sure. So I'm going to go back to my question, though. Without turning my camera around, where is your team fighting right now? Where do they want to fight?
They want to fight just inside point.
Yes. So if I turn my camera around, that's exactly it. We're not staged to fight here. So this is not a good engagement from you. It doesn't mean that you have to play on the same space as your team, but the problem is that nothing is really seriously happening right now. And so instead, let them come towards point and then take your engagement.
Right.
And again, whether that's fighting the diva, or maybe you just hold here, wait till they walk on point, and then go pin the backline over here. The point being is, like, wherever you are engaged, make sure that your team is engaged at the same time. And right now, that's not exactly happening. Yeah. That's all. And
so
you nailed it.
Instead of going all the way to the corner, I could have pinned into the backside of point.
Yes. Just
That
here.
way,
Mhm.
I was in the spot I wanted to be, but in a more advantaged
Yes, yes, yeah,
own spot.
yeah, exactly. And that would have held these guys in this choke and allowed your team to deal with this off angle here, no problem.
Right. I thought the whole team was rotating, so that's why I booked it over there. But
And even if they were, you still wouldn't want to take the engagement here.
right, yeah, I still want to
So
hold
regardless
it
of
in
off
there
angle or
to
not.
point.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you swing on. It's not so much a question of target, it's just where you took it.
Right, yeah.
You're kind of playing it resource light here, which is nice, but it's still not where, like, you can still see that, like, there still have been a lot of resources expended before your team could really do a whole lot. This is good. This is good. Good.
I'm mad at myself that I canceled pin when I got that.
Hey, I mean, to be honest with you,
I didn't know I was gonna get her.
You didn't know.
So unreliable.
You get unlucky, and you also get lucky. Case in point, right?
That, no, that wasn't lucky. That was calculated.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
No, I didn't expect it to happen, but that was calculated.
The actual mechanics of what's happening right now, whether it's the swings, the pins, the fire strikes, and even some of your HP and shield management, so far has been good. I don't know if it's going to persist, but the major problem is where you took the fight, but how you actually took the fight was okay. It was not bad. Looks solid. Now here, this is the correct play. You look at where your Zen, you look at where your Lucio is, you do need to be walking forward because the fight location has shifted. So this is where team play comes into play here. You talked about your Bastion on Dorado earlier. You should accommodate where your Bastion's fighting, but you should not accommodate your Bastion's positioning.
Yeah.
So you talked about it earlier. We won't necessarily look at that replay code, but you should not be shielding a Bastion unless there's literally nothing else better to do.
Yeah.
But if your Bastion's holding that corner, then you need to find a position that complements that corner. And that probably is where some of your frustration comes into play, where you're trying to accommodate your team in terms of what they're doing when you shouldn't. You should just focus on where they're fighting. Like right now, you should not go and pin across the map to try to help these guys because it's too far for you. You should instead swing on this guy right here, right? Whatever's close, right? So I like that you're pushing forward here. This is good. But the Brigitte and the Zenyatta, that's not your responsibility. This Reaper, the Sojourn, that's your responsibility, right? And I think you realize it. And
Reaper,
then even
Sojourn, and I have a Mega right there.
Yeah. And you even back off as you see your Zenyatta backing off. You're being very attentive. This is good. Yeah, this is nice. That replay bug is really annoying. I'm actually going to take note of that really fast. Iridescent, Rhine, Fire Strikes, Invisible. Okay. There's the compliment. Roadhog swap.
Yeah, I love it. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, this is very, very good. You're fighting where your team is fighting. Your team has gotten picked off on the flank, but this is still very, very valuable. This fight is actually still winnable, and worst case scenario, the point is still flipping here. Yeah, this is good. This is good. You could pin across at the Sojourn here, but if where you're at is providing value, there's no real point moving elsewhere.
Yeah, that's why I just held
fine.
out here.
Yeah,
I've got full resources.
Yeah. You have a good corner. You have full resources. This is a great shatter. It's just mechanically screwed up, right? So talk me through the details here and make this prettier. I see the vision, but I want more. What needs to be done differently? Ooh. So first thing first, what do you see?
Both of them were down instead of fire striking immediately. Maybe I should have instantly pinned the hog off.
You could have.
Pin cancel and then fire strike the Ana.
So this is where I probably would have done a cleave fire strike right from the Brigitte towards the Ana, right? So I lean my fire strike, line it up, and go boom. That's going to kill the Ana, and that's going to get the Brig low. Then one swing on Brig, and then maybe hold shield. Or, as you said, you fire strike and then immediately commit to the pin on Hog a little bit faster instead of swinging so that you guarantee get the one kill. So you either get 2 kills or you get 1 kill, your choice. You kind of did neither. You try to kind of do a little bit of both, and you just didn't use the fire strike tech. And then ultimately, the counter pin from Brigitte that gets you. That's extremely unlucky, but it's also you had every opportunity to play that better, and you did not. That's what cost you.
I was so confused when that happened. It took me a moment. Like, it wasn't until after I respawned. I was like, how did I fall down? How did I get hooked? But afterwards I realized. But yeah, I definitely should have fire striked the Ana Brig because I could have held that hog all day.
Yes.
I should have murdered the supports.
Murder the supports or pin, or yeah, I mean, honestly, your intention to pin the hog was fine. You just need to do it sooner. That's all. I don't think you were thinking as much about the amount of CC that they had to stop that. So
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna point that out as an error, but honestly, that's going to happen in such a vast minority of situations where you get punished that hard for that I'm not super concerned. Now, if that keeps happening with your shatters, we're gonna point it out. But yeah. Now you're coming up on minor perk here. Which perk do you think makes the most sense in this situation right now?
In this one,
Don't think more about, like, do I want to win frontline trades or do I want to be playing more angles here based off of the map or the comp? It's tricky, isn't it?
it is because it depends with their comp. I can honestly take either one of them and just adjust my play style.
Sure can. Yeah. So it's your call, really. I think for me, I'd probably take the passive heal just because of hook, bash, sleep, nade, and so on. I don't know if I want to rely off of pinning into them to work. But then if you do get shatter, it's basically a guaranteed fight win with that build, right? So it's your call. It's your call. It also would have made a lot more sense if you guys had Zen Lucio still for the passive heal, but you don't anymore. So, again, it's really your call here. This rotation is fine. I even appreciate you, like, you didn't really have to wait to block that hook, but it's not the end of the world that you did. So, like, I mean, it's thoughtful. Fire Strike here is really good. Okay, so you got a choice here. You either need to play like a hero here and really, really, really win this cooldown trade in terms of blocking every cooldown, or if you're like, I don't like this choke. This choke feels really bad. Remember when I was having you hold this choke here because this was a really good choke for you? There's no point using your pin, right? Well, now you're on the flip side of this. This choke feels bad. Is there a different way to approach this?
I could get silly.
Yes, you could.
And use the pin and wrap right side all around the back. All the way around the back.
You could. You can even walk forward with
around two.
Yeah, go ahead. You could even walk forward with shield and then pin here, like wrap through here and hold shield again, right? But yeah, you're on the right track. But you notice that it's done to open up a different angle, right?
Yeah.
But it's still with cover and it's still playing at resource light, and it's done so at the right time, right? So even the silliness, right, is done strategically. This is kind of what I was concerned about when you're talking about, oh, you just occasionally get silly and just go in. That proves to me that you either don't have the understanding or don't have enough of the creativity. Because when I'm playing Reinhardt, I've coached this hero for years. I'm not very good at this character muscle memory wise. I'm an old washed Reinhardt man. I used to play him back in 2017. So I understand a lot of what I can do with the character. So when I'm learning or playing the character, it takes a lot of brain power for me to figure out where I can pin and where I can go. And that's why I don't find myself getting as frustrated, because I always feel like there is a solution. I just have to figure it out. That's where you need to be. Right?
Yeah.
So you look at this here and you're like, you're up one. You got lucky. But what if the Ana doesn't die here? How do you break this choke?
Yeah. I mean, normally, and I get so many of my teammates get frustrated because I'm over here like, April Fool's patch, Speed of Gonzalez, Cargo Vroom, and I'm all over the map. I don't think I do that here.
You may not need to. You're up one, but you can outplay these CDs here. But if I talk about Roadhog versus Reinhardt, the first thing is frontline presence may not always. It's more of a 50-50, right? You can block his value. You have shield, but he also has a lot of sustain. So it's up to you. It's up to you.
And then also, it's also, even with the Ana dead, that's a lot of CC. And I was trying to not have that happen.
Right. So I think you pinned off of Hook.
I
think
saw Hook come out, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't mind this pin. This pin's okay.
Ana was dead. They didn't have Hook, so I was just like, I can just send it.
You just needed a shield. You just needed the shield. That's it. It's whole hog, so your shield's going to break in literally 2 seconds, but that's a very important 2 seconds.
I tried to. I popped.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but you just didn't shield.
Yeah, I just didn't shield.
You also have to kind of look at things as like a standpoint of like, what do I think the enemy team is going to do? Like when I hit this pin, what do I think the response is going to be? You know, like look at how
Yeah.
aggressive you're playing right now. This is a high roller move, right? It's a good move. It's a calculated move. Sure. But you've got a freaking pen or a shield, sorry.
Right.
Right? This is not passive. This is aggressive. So you know you're going to get everybody and their mother looking at you. So hold the freaking shield. You didn't hold your shield. You
Yeah,
know?
you're right. I didn't. I was
If you hold,
swing on autopilot.
if you hold this shield here, you live for 1, 2, and then you're fine. I think you live this, no problem.
Yeah.
Because that hog explodes, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you win this fight either way? Maybe, maybe. So, well, maybe not, right? And there you go. So, play idea, very good. The way that you manage your resources and behave depending on the amount of attention that you got, not so good. It's that simple. Not complicated. That's it. I'm noticing a lot of times that you're typing here. You trying to coach your team? Because you seem like a smart guy, so I'm wondering if you're like helping them with the rotations and so on.
I type sometimes, but more often than not, because I'm on console. I have a keyboard hooked up to my console, but I think I was just waiting.
Okay, scratching your nose. Fair enough.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
All right, fair enough.
Like, if team was dead, I'm not gonna go in and
Yeah. I was just curious. I'm used to seeing like ADHD players like myself like swinging in the air or puttering around between fights. This is good. This is fine. Again, you don't have to go with your team here. This is a good angle. Go ahead.
Yeah. I never stop swinging on Ryan because I can't tell you how many times I've killed a random Tracer, random Sombra, Lucio.
Sure.
I don't have ammo. I don't reload. Why stop swinging?
Yeah, sure. No such thing as ammo management, right? Okay. Yeah, this is good. This is good. I would go ahead and pin here if I were you. Pin to the point and just kind of swing on the Reaper, hold your shield, force point, you know? It's a good fire strike. Or maybe you don't even need to pin, just hold shield. This is really good. Sure. Hold shield, hold shield, hold shield, hold shield, hold shield, hold shield. Yeah, it's just none of the situations where it's like you're probably fine to swing there, but the only way that you could possibly lose is if you die. Only way. You guys are up so many. Just there's no downside to just living here. Just making sure. Play the safe game.
Yeah.
You know? You got to know when to fold. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where we're at right now. You're all in, all in, all in, even when it doesn't make sense to, and that doesn't make you a high roller. It makes you a fool, right? So like right there, hold the shield. I love the angle. I love the play. I love the pin. I love not even the pin, but just kind of playing point there. That was really valuable. That allowed you guys to quickly, and even if you didn't get the fight win immediately, you would have pulled 2 people to point, which would have allowed your team to walk across the choke. I like the strategy. Just do it better.
And I end up forcing Reaper to use Wraith too.
Yeah. It's
Reaper,
good stuff.
Wraith,
Good stuff.
Sojourn slid. I just like you said, I should have shielded.
Yes. So that's the key thing: is how much first fight, how much resource do I have? Lots of resource. Why are we playing so passive? Right. Next fight. Why are we taking a fight where your team isn't in a location to take a fight on? Fight after that. You are too low, you're being focused, please hold shield. That last fight, you were very low, please hold shield. So it's kind of depending on what you're doing, how much shield should you show or how much space should you take. Let's keep watching. Any questions so far?
Not really.
Okay. Nothing super complicated here, right? Lots of little good things. As we expected, there's a reason that you're platinum, not gold. There's lots of little good things. I love the fire strikes right now. I can tell you've been putting the attention to it because your fire strikes have been your strong point. Really nice stuff. Good fire strike there. Good fire strike there. Good swings. Nothing to do about it. People melted. GG, go next.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. Good stuff. We'll keep going. Now, we're kind of in a similar circumstance again. Let me kind of propose a brain problem for you, okay? So you've probably had times where you get stuck here, yeah? You get stuck here. There's a lot of damage happening here. You could probably tell where I'm going with this. How do you break this choke?
I don't get stuck there super often. Most of the time when I get quote-unquote stuck there, it's because my team's just playing Stagger Watch.
Sure. So let's say that you did. Let's just say that you did. What do you do?
If we actually do get, stuck there, I usually default to try and wrapping right side, or, if the mirror flipped, wrap long ways toward the Mega. And I usually don't even stop there. I just go straight around to the Mega because I'll fire strike there, and then I've got a closer. They have 2 options at that point. They can turn and look at me, and my team is shooting them in the back, or they ignore me, and I'm a choo-choo train. Yes. I'm gonna send it.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay. That's what we're looking for. So this is where the mobility is useful. When you're not happy with where the fights are occurring, use that horizontal mobility to open up an angle. Now you have to be very attentive to the first thing that you said, which is that everybody's looking at me. Okay, so then you're going to be playing Shield Watch.
that's why I also rotate toward the Megazat.
Yes.
So that I can
Yes.
rotate Shield Watch,
Yes.
and then I can throw a Fire Strike, and I know I have enough health bar to
Yes.
Fire Strike, eat it, back up, take the Mega, and I keep holding Shield. And
Yes,
I've got multiple
and that might be even been influenced by the type of perk that you choose, right? That first minor perk as well. So my point being is that like anytime that we're confronted with these chokes, how are you breaking those chokes with how you're taking a space is really important. And then responding to the attention that you get is very important.
Oh, if they have a spam heavy comp, instead of wrapping around, I actually take the stairs and go up to right side where the right side up to there. I go up to there, and then I just pin into the doorway where the Reaper's at. Just full send it. If they got spam, I don't let them spam.
All right, fair enough.
I'm in their back
but you got to ask yourself, can I close the distance with a little bit more delicacy, right? So like the problem is that are you pinning into the middle, right? You don't do that. So if I'm playing Ryan here and I'm playing in the spam, I'm pinning and wrapping here and I'm walking and compressing them from here, from the outside, from the outside, not through the middle. That's what I want. That way it's more expensive for them to turn around, and everything that's being shot at, I can shield. There's nothing shooting me in the back or to the left or to the right. It's all on my screen. Does that make sense?
I don't often go through the top and just pin in. It's more just for fun and see if I can get a big shot.
Hey man, listen, if it's for fun, the rules literally don't apply.
Right, yeah. It almost never works, but it's fun.
Yeah. Good Fire Strike. Grab that Mega. Yeah, so this one was like just little details, right? So like how you're playing here, for example. Like I just want to see a swing and I want to see a Fire Strike and I want to hold the corner and Fire Strike again. So if I look at the details here, you coach yourself here. You took a lot of damage here, even though I didn't feel like you made any egregious errors. So I want you to spot the mistake. We'll go real slow. Why are we hesitating? You see it?
Yeah. Well, if I remember right, I thought I heard somebody behind.
Understandable. Understandable.
A little bit too far out from the corner, and I should have started the Fire Strike sooner. I stayed in the open a little bit too long. It wasn't awful. I was just a little bit too long, and it let Ryan get a swing, and then the railgun.
What about this?
Kind of melted.
What about this?
The plan was to try and scoop the Rhine.
You didn't hit him. That's okay. Just need to cancel the pin sooner, right? So
yeah,
if you're not going to hit it, cancel it right here, and then just get the swings. Beat this guy's face in, basically.
Yeah.
That's all there really is.
Yeah, I should have, like you said, canceled a fraction of a second sooner.
But these are more details here. So this is like stuff that's annoying for sure that you could clean up, but so far I see the vision. I see the vision.
Should have canceled the pin sooner again.
What happened there? Are you like hit by hammer or like that was weird. I felt like you got booped.
I think I realized I was way too deep, so I just went for a tactical reset, not realizing my echo was going in too.
I see.
I think that was my plan back there.
I understand. Same kind of thing here with it. Yeah, don't walk down that hallway. This is fine. Good stuff. Clear him out. Fire Strike. Good stuff. Missed it. That's okay. He's thinking about it.
Oh, he's thinking about it.
Good Fire Strike again. They're not always hitting, but it definitely feels like you're hitting right where you want to go. I like this. Get ready to pop it. I would just... Yeah, see, this is another one of those moments, right? I can tell you're thinking about Shatter, but there's no freaking way that she gets away with that. There's just no way. Knock her teeth in. You see it?
Yeah.
Knock her teeth in. So I think it's because you're thinking about, like right now, obviously the Nano Ana, you kind of need to hold shield. Nice. Bless you.
That's why I was waiting for it, because I knew they were going to push in.
Yes, perfectly done. Well done.
So instead of
well done.
swinging and burning my resources, I just waited, ate a little bit of shield,
Sure.
and then
Sure.
I did have a plan,
I understand.
but I could have hit that Mora for sure.
I just not even the shatter necessarily, but just a swing on the Moira there, right? Don't
Right,
let
like,
her get away for total free, right?
Even one swing would have been just better.
Uh-huh. This is good. Your team is definitely engaged there. Oh, that's unfortunate. She got pincered. His loss. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, those swings need to hit. Okay, there we go. Yep, it's fine. Good stuff. Good.
I do
fire
remember
strike.
calling out the Reapers coming in for a
Good
blossom
fire
on that.
strike. This is... are you pinning Sojourn here?
Honestly,
Am I crazy?
Honestly, I saw the Sojourn.
Or were you baiting Ryan around the corner and trying to knock him?
I was just trying to ego the Rhine for the memes.
Got it.
I was
Okay.
my plan was hope for the the Rhine was walking. I knew he was walking. I thought I could time it just right enough that way the Rhine walked in.
Okay.
I scooped the Rhine, pin him, turn the 90, and shatter him again.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
I
mean,
was mostly doing it
fine.
for the memes.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you weren't pinning Sojourn dry, because that would mean that you get shot in the back,
No.
right? Like, that would mean pinning through the middle of the enemy team away from a corner that you're already on, but yeah, that's fine.
That's why as soon as the Rhine, the pin didn't connect, I just dropped it and walked back. In fairness, I did forget about the Sojourn that was
This
behind
is
me.
another one of those moments. If you use your overhealth,
Just shield,
but
just
you
shield.
just shield and back out. Shield and back out, back, and then shatter whenever you need to. You're fine. You're okay.
Yeah.
Don't be the guy that presses Q and dies. This probably happened to you more times than you'd like to admit. It certainly happened to me.
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. So it's just, again, it's like you start to kind of feel yourself like I'm popping off, and you're not as strategic about what is the status of my shield, what is the status of my HP. That happened with the pin on the brig as well. You guys got to pick. You hit the pin on the rallying brig, and then all of a sudden your brain turns off.
Yeah.
This is fine. You need to pin all the way out, but you're trying to help your Moira, so that's okay.
I was trying to help the Moira, and I thought the Rhine was still over there, so I was going to go for the
this.
scoop.
I don't like this.
Yeah, rotating too far out.
You're rotating. It feels like you're thinking about shielding your team. You cannot do that. You have to hold this corner. You have the off angle first off, but if we ignore any esoteric, complicated angle stuff, just you are on this corner. This is your corner. You can't second guess yourself mid-fight and do a rotation in the middle of the open. You can't do it. This is your spot.
I'm the king of the castle, and that's my castle.
You have to trust that these guys will have brains with their cover usage, and if they don't, then at least that's their mistake and not yours. You can't anticipate people to make mistakes and try to help them and then because that is the mistake. That is confirming that something is bad is happening. You might lose your Echo or Zen or Ash here, maybe, but you know what's guaranteed? You moving in the open here is going to lose you HP, lose you shield, and lose the off angle for your team, which makes your team significantly less likely to... Yes, that's exactly right. You can't let your team throw the fight. You don't throw the fight. That's the rule that I wish more people thought about with any role, is let your teammates make the mistakes, but you have to trust them to not make it, because if you don't trust them, then it is now you making the mistake and guaranteeing that it's going to be a disadvantage. Some people are like, but losing my Ashe is worse than losing the angle. I'm actually not so sure that's the case.
Yeah, no, I try not to.
Yeah.
And I have won several fights where, like, we're down 2, but because I'm on a random angle, I've got both fire strikes pinned, full resources, and they walk at me, and I just
pin them off the map, right? Like, there's all sorts of things you can do from this angle, right? Like, look at what the Honest or the Sojourn's doing, right? Like, you know it, right? You know it. But this is messy. That's funny. He just went off the map. Hold shield.
I didn't even notice he went off the map. I pinned it. Deny the angle for them.
This is fine. Just hold shield all the way to point. Honestly, I hate that you gave up that angle so much. That cost you so much. I'm not going to lie with you. However, this has actually been really, really good respect of the resources that you're getting. And we're talking about the margin of error is so close here. I wish that you guys had actually pressed Q. Your Zen didn't trance, your Echo didn't get a chance to copy, and your Mortar died during Cole. So this is where your team let you down. You let them down by giving in the angle, and then your team let you down. But what you've done with the attention has been really good. You've baited a lot of attention and lived a long time. Okay, so what are you seeing so far? Is there anything that's been elaborated on with the previous point? Is there any new concepts? What are you seeing? Tricky, right? Felt like more small things that round.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the hey, don't be, meme lord, but it's like more the same, really. Just I need to, if my team's going to fail, they're going to fail.
Yes.
I'm going to bonk them with the hammer because hammer goes swing.
Correct. And then also just making sure that we're consistently being creative with how we're retaking painful chokes. That's all. And not when I say creative, I don't mean stupid, right? Like I think pinning off the high ground off the top ropes in the back line is just intentionally done for fun, right? So you be my guest, go for it. But if you want to be strategic about it, you need to take the angle, but you need to be very responsive with, oh no, I'm getting attention, I need to shield. Oh no, I'm getting attention, I need to shield. Oh no, I'm not getting attention, I need to be getting that fire strike. I need to be getting that swing in. So any questions so far before we finish this up?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah. I think on this point, I do actually get some wacky off into Narnia pins.
Yeah, could be. I mean, you're going to be a bit of a main character, I think, here. I'm looking at this composition. I'm thinking Orisa Reaper. I'm thinking Ana. I think these guys are going to be looking at you a lot. So that is something you can absolutely leverage. Fire Strike's good.
Yeah, I noticed they went horse, so I immediately, instead of going for the aggressive angle, I went to the wall to have more cover.
I mean, this is good, right? Look at this is what makes Reinhardt good, right? You have that mobility, you're able to block the javelin, and she's just getting slammed in the face. We got a nice little cleave fire strike coming up here. Gets eaten, but that's javelin spin, and that's sleep. And you're in a good position to get slept if you're going to get slept. Now, from here, what should you be doing? Cautiously, but what should you be doing?
Hindsight, I think, honestly, I pin around a point.
Why?
I can't really... I know at least one or two enemies are over on point. I mean, on the replay, I can see there's more there. But I remember seeing that there was, some kind of enemies over there. Ana's looking down the same hallway I am with the Orisa. Orisa's out of cooldowns, but that also means that Ana's going to have to, heal her more because she's discorded. So if I just pinned a point, I could just basically swing for free on whoever's there.
True, but
force them out.
But can you not just do the same thing with the Orisa right now?
Ana used sleep. That's right. Ana used sleep.
My point being is this is where, like, I talk about this a lot recently with some of my sessions, where you have made the choice to fight for this choke, which is wise. You have won this choke war. You got a kill on Sojourn. The last thing that you should do is give up the chokehold.
Yeah.
You have to trust your teammates to take the point here. If you give up this choke, what does the Ana and Orisa do?
They walk in and murder.
They walk in, they take the space away. Now, that doesn't necessarily...
hang out here.
You should just hang out here. You may not be able to push deep into their backline, but you should get a swing here or a fire strike here and sit here on this corner and hold shield. This is where
I think that's what I do.
Yeah. Do you remember the first thing on the first point retake with that Roadhog? And when you were like, oh, you could pin the point here. No, you just need to hold the choke. Hold that bridge. Remember when you shattered the backline? Same thing here. You have an advantage, hold it. Don't give it up. If you are the one breaking a choke, then you might want to be creative with how you approach it. Like, I might not retake through the choke here. I might pin the point and pull the Orisa to me but you're pulling her out of a good position. When you have a good position and you have a good choke, you need to hold it. Your advantage. Hold, that is your castle. So you're going to give up point here, or give up choke here, or maybe you're not. This is good. This is exactly what you want. Your presence here is preventing this Reaper from getting follow-up. It's allowing your team to cap point safely. You have chosen to be here. This is where you play. You see how much more smooth this has gone? Do not give this Orisa or Ana the opportunity to clutch it out. Good stuff. This is good. Very well done. Because you were like, oh, I had a lot of resources, I had a lot of HP. Could I have kept pushing? Well, yes and no. Because where is your team set up to fight at that point in time?
Yeah.
Not here. So you probably had a limit. That was really good.
I do remember backing out.
Yeah, this is very good. This is very good. Even this here, you're like, oh, we're not fighting here, so I'm going to back off. And I'm going to go back to my corner. Wherever that may be. And there you go.
I blocked the javelin right there, by the way.
What is your BAP doing? Oh my goodness gracious. He has a death wish.
Yeah.
Wait.
My
What's
BAP
happening?
was... Yeah, I remember seeing that in the game.
He's on a mission.
Oh my god!
His dad is a Lucio player if I ever saw one. Good job helping him out. Like, you walk forward as a result of what he does. And this is fine.
Why did, like...
Yep, this is good. So then, okay, then this guy's no longer your problem.
I think I lob a fire strike to help.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, that's fine. But this guy is no longer your physical problem, because if you deal to pin with this, what do you give up? The floodgates, right? You cannot give away this corner. So remember, the pin for mobility is used when you don't like your position. You do not use pin for mobility when you like your position.
Absolutely not.
That's it. That's the rule.
I did have that habit for a little while there of trying to pin in the back line, and I quit doing it.
Yeah. Now, one thing I don't like here is that you gave up the corner. So I know it's Orisa, but you can maybe get a swing in, bait a cooldown, shield, fire strike towards her Ana, something like that. Hold that corner. Hold here, or here, or drop here. You know what I'm saying? Don't give up that choke.
I normally do try to drop to the corner of those stairs where the wrist is
that's
at
fine.
right now.
That's fine. That's a good fire strike. It's another good fire strike. But yeah, you can kind of see how, like, you have given the Orisa the choke, and then the more fills, and the more fills off the echo. I think this fight was probably pretty much lost anyway, but I don't like how you're being hyper conservative with your resource when you have resources to give. You understand? Like, you have HP and fire strikes. You have a corner. Yes, you're down one. It's okay. You could have held that, maybe clutched it up. Maybe the Orisa wastes her fortify. Maybe you get a pin. Maybe you bait sleep dart. Maybe you bait Moira attention. Maybe you bait echo. Maybe you open up an opportunity. So now you're being overly conservative because of the Orisa, when you can let the Orisa feel like she's the main character a little bit. Get a swing on her. Force those cooldowns. Make her think that she's going to kill you. Bait, use yourself as bait. And then when you're low, well, then you play more conservatively. Or not even low, just half, you know? So it feels like you could have done more direct pressure there with the resources that you had. Okay, so are you happy with fighting here? Does this feel good? Is there another way of approaching this fight?
That feels awful.
It does. So this is where you can pin. Where do you pin?
Yeah.
Never pin through the middle. Where do you pin?
Never pin through the middle. So
two choices.
Either
two choices.
Pin right side up to the high ground where I had been going.
Zoom up to here, swing, hold shield. That pulls everybody away from the angle or onto main towards you, holding shield. Really good for taking space. What's the other option?
Or go forward and rotate outside.
Yeah, so rotate out. You could even, so full outside, right? That's an option, but probably too far, right? But you could just pin to here and put pressure and point this way. Again, the idea is that, like, I'm going to pull away from this choke and to a place where I have corner. So either applying pressure from this corner here or pinning up the stairs and applying pressure from this corner here. That's it. Good fire strike. I don't like this because this is like
you said, too far away.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not terrible. Like I like the creativity, but it feels like a multi-step process to close the distance on backline when you just needed one step, right? You just needed one step. Like, it works out nicely because the Sojourn's directly under you. I don't even know if you know that. So it actually works, but you're kind of fortunate that the Sojourn was there because she wasn't there initially. Now, if there's somebody up here at the start of a fight, you're absolutely welcome to pin at them and swing your hammer. That would have been really good. But watch how she acts. She actually walks towards you. She doesn't even know you're there. So it actually works out very nicely, but you're very fortunate. Now, I will say, hey, it was a bad choke. You did think about something, and it did work. Look. Well, and everybody's looking at you. Everybody's looking at you, and so you just like, oh, hold shield. Look at this poor Reaper, man. This isn't a choke anymore. This isn't a... Look at them. They're the ones in the choke.
No, yeah, that's why I did that.
Yeah,
because I knew I'd be able to get the... like you said, it was a multi-step that could have been one step.
Yes.
So I could have done it better.
But the spirit was good.
I saw this, like, this is awful.
Yeah.
This is awful.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. Good luck, guys. I'm going to Narnia.
Give me 1 second.
So I went to Narnia.
I'm letting my next session know they're running a few minutes late.
All right.
Okay, good fire strike. Don't get yourself surrounded. Play your shield once you get low, and then you're cooking. Okay, let's keep going. This is another one of those, be very careful about how far you're fighting. Because the other thing, too, is you gotta be careful because you might bait your teammates to think that, oh, we're fighting forward here. But, yeah. This is fine. A little spooky.
Yeah, I should have canceled pen sooner.
Yeah, a little spooky there for sure. And this is also where it's like, okay, the problem here is that you're like pinning here, but then you pin too far. And so now you've given up this choke, but also
Right.
you've given up this angle as well. So like you're not controlling really any space right now. So what I would do here, if you hit the
Just
pin,
hit the
it's
pin.
I don't even know if I'd pin, my friend. Because if you think
Yeah.
about it, she has every tool to stop you from pinning. So maybe it's just to like look at her really menacingly and hold the choke here.
Yeah,
It's
maybe.
weird to let her get that space, but you're preventing these guys from walking forward. Like, your job as Reinhardt is to control the enemy team, parts of the enemy team, not the entire enemy team, right?
Right, yeah.
Because remember, it's the opportunity cost. She fills the javelin, yeah, so this kind of works, but look at the floodgates.
Yeah.
And that's
I
off
mean,
of
maybe-
your space.
Yeah, if I hit the pin or if I canceled the pin right as I bumped into her, just past the mini, then
Sure.
maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
sure,
I bait out a
sure,
cooldown or
sure.
two,
But do you notice we're
but I
going
just
right back
held-
to the principle of you chose this choke because you like this choke and then immediately leave it.
Yeah.
And you can't do that. You have to stay here,
Yeah.
or you should have chosen to fight here if you'd wanted to, right? I'm not saying you should never pin Orisa. It's a terrible play. It's fine. Like, this is one of those plays where if you'd pinned Reaper, we would have been like, oh, what a crazy good play. Congratulations, right? But honestly,
Yeah.
fundamentally, it's not a smart play. You got to choose to hold the choke that you're holding and then only pin out if you don't like the position anymore. And this
I
ultimately
remember
is...
I remember I was aiming for the back line, not the horse itself. I
Yeah,
was hoping,
I understand that.
I was actually hoping horse would go for fortify, and I would scoop
Yep.
up who was following her, and I would pin somebody into
Yeah,
the horse
yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah,
force
yeah.
forward.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
in realistically, like I should have just held my kill. Or
Exactly.
maybe pinned around
Exactly.
through the point. That way I'm cutting the horse off.
So the fundamental thing that we're running into, whether it was the previous point with you trying to walk across to shield your team, is that you will hold a choke and then abandon that choke, even if the
Yeah.
angle or position that you're holding is really good. So, like, for example, right now, this is a terrible choke, so you're more than welcome to do whatever you'd like. You can flank around this way. You can pin through to here and hold shield. You can walk out and hold shield and wall and hold all the way to here. I don't really care, but this is where you're free to be thoughtful and creative to solve a problem,
Yeah.
right? But when you're on defense, you're kind of like, you get to play in position wherever you want, and the only time that you pin to reposition is if there's nobody there.
Right. If it's like I have this space, but everyone else is on the other side of the map.
Correct.
So...
Yes, exactly. This is fine. Don't forget to just honestly drop shield most of the time and just run, right?
Yeah.
Okay, getting some space.
And that one, I knew I would take damage, but I wasn't going to take a ton. And
yeah.
I was trying to shield my allies to make sure they didn't get picked from their back line.
Yeah, that's fair.
would-
That's fair. That's fair.
I'll take damage from the horse, but my team will live it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
That's fair.
it helps
This is-
keep the Reaper.
This is really good, by the way. This choke sucks, so look at how you approach it from the side. You see this? You got
Yeah.
resources for this as well. You could even shatter this Reaper if you wanted to. I mean, it's always risky, but there's a chance that he's not expecting that. Now, I don't like this. It's because you
Yeah,
went from one choke to another choke. So you get the kill here. Next step is what? What's the next rotation?
Instead of continuing, because I was already close here, and we had one
Yeah.
up, and so I was just like, oh, I'll just keep going here.
Yeah.
But realistically, I should double back and go back up to high ground and push this on out
Yep,
that I
you
didn't
got
even
it.
know was there at that
Yep,
point.
walk her out. Even if she's not hero, then you get a free angle into
Yeah.
backline, and then that Orisa is not going to be looking this way. She's going to be looking this way, and so she doesn't. Model doesn't even exist. You just take
it's
away
a-
their defensive advantage. That's what you're doing with your mobility.
The
You
shorter angle works better for me.
Yes.
And then instead of walking into her damage,
Yep.
I go
Yep.
around it.
Yep. Okay, last fight here. Again, you got to be very careful. I think you're continually baiting your team to walk forward. Maybe I'm crazy. No, I think this is okay. This is fine. You know she's backing off. Don't do it. Hold it. Yeah. Hold it. Hold it. It's okay. Walk back at her. Hit that fire strike here. Would have liked to have seen a fire strike. Ah, you got to hold it. You got to hold it. You got to mash this guy's teeth in right now. Let your team handle this. This is where you're at, so you handle here. If you'd been here, then you would have handled this. This is your job. Force the Wraith, force whatever, and freaking shatter. You know, get them out.
If I stayed in that corner, I could have shattered the Reaper and the backline and just won the fight off of that right there.
And do you notice that the DPS are filling this space, right? So this is like, you don't, do you feel like nothing feels close? Like, do you feel surrounded right now? You are. There is no angle that you're really controlling right now. The only way that you're going to win this is through sheer ult economy. So like, I don't hate you going for Reaper now because there is nothing close, but that's because of how you chose to give up the space instead. You have to hold the space. You have to hold the choke. So this ends up working out nicely. Nice shatter. Good crouch fire strike there. Love to see it. Yeah, a lot of your mechanics are pretty good. I think you should lean into those more. Like, you've been really thoughtful about how you're using your swings and your shield management for the most part and your fire strikes. But I think there's a real problem of you trying to play a little bit of whack-a-mole, giving up space and trying to deal with problems. Remember, that's only the creativity with your pin and turn is more of a retaking space or when there's nothing to do. When the angle that you control is being contested, that is value. Whether that's Reaper, whether that's Ana, whether that's Tracer, whether that's Winston, whether that's Orisa, can trust your instincts here. Trust them. They're correct. It's okay. Let the tank do his thing. You control this. Let the DPS do their thing. You control this. Any map, any situation.
Right. Yeah. So basically, you know, even if it's a, you know, Horse, Ramatra, you know, Malga, where I need to play shield bot Rhine until they run out of resources, and then I get to swing. Even if it's those tanks, I still just hold shield, and that's my corner, even if they go somewhere else.
That's it. That's why the problem was with the Bastion earlier is probably because that corner wasn't good for you. Like, you weren't swinging on anything. There wasn't a real choke to hold. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But that would be something to analyze.
I was first point defensive Dorado, and I was at the front corner where, you know, cart moves up a little over, and then it just stops, and I'm safe. My Bastion was right there beside me. He was.
Well, that's not so bad because that's more about that's good for you. You know, screw your Bastion. Right. You know, that's good for you. So then in that situation, it's okay.
That's why I stayed there. My Bastion was just dumb.
Sure, makes sense. Okay, do you have any questions here?
You want to see my muscles?
That was actually pretty good. That was pretty good. I respect it, actually. That's definitely something that has been practiced, I hope. At least, all right, let me get this.
I say it all the time. Yeah, no, that's about it, I think.
Love it. All right.